You were mid-sentence. The words were right there. And then nothing. A clean, total erasure. Like someone pulled a plug. Most people think this is forgetfulness. It is actually the opposite. By the end of this, you will understand exactly what your brain was doing and why it says something remarkable about you. It happens in the middle of a conversation. You have something to say, something good, something real. You can feel the shape of the thought. You open your mouth. And the second the other person speaks, or someone walks by, or a sound cuts through the room, it is gone. Not fuzzy, not half there, completely gone. You squint. You say, wait, what was I saying? You retrace the last 30 seconds of conversation like a detective at a crime scene. Sometimes it comes back. Sometimes it never does. And when it does not come back, there is this particular frustration that is hard to describe. Not just annoyance. Something closer to grief. Because you knew that thought mattered. You could feel its weight before it disappeared. You have probably had this happen in the worst possible moments. Mid-presentation. Mid-argument. When you finally had the perfect point. Mid-story. When everyone was actually listening. The silence stretches. You laugh it off. But inside, something quietly deflates. You start to wonder if something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Here is what is actually happening inside your brain. Your working memory, the mental space where you hold active thoughts, is not a hard drive. It is more like a whiteboard. It holds only what is currently being used, and it has a strict size limit. The second new information enters the room, a sound, a word, a movement, your brain has to make an instant decision. What stays on the whiteboard, and what gets erased to make space? For most people, that process is fairly simple. The new thing comes in, the old thing fades gently. But your brain does not work like most people's. Research in cognitive psychology shows that people who think in complex, layered, deeply connected patterns have more active threads running at any moment. Your brain is not holding one thought, it is holding the thought, plus the context, plus 3 related ideas, plus your awareness of the room, plus how the other person is feeling. That whiteboard is packed. So when something new arrives, the erasure is not gentle. It is sudden, complete, like a full reset. Your brain was not being careless. It was running too many important things at once. You have probably noticed it gets worse when you are deeply engaged. You are in a conversation that actually matters to you. You are genuinely listening, not just waiting to talk, but actually tracking what they are saying, feeling what they mean, thinking about how it connects to something else. And then your thought evaporates, because you cannot deeply listen and deeply hold your own idea at the same time. Your brain chose them. That is not a flaw. That is empathy using up your processing power. Or you are in a meeting, and you have just thought of something sharp and relevant. But someone else starts talking, and you do not want to interrupt, so you wait. And by the time the space opens up, the thought is gone. Because your brain interpreted the pause as a signal that the thought was no longer urgent. It let it go to be polite. Your brain was being considerate, not careless. And the hardest version, you are finally brave enough to say something real. Your heart is going slightly faster. You care about getting it right. And the pressure of that caring is exactly what erases the thought before it reaches your mouth. Your brain was protecting you from saying something imperfect. Psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi studied what happens to the brain during states of deep focus and complex thinking. He found that truly engaged minds operate differently from baseline. They pull in more information, make more connections, and sustain more simultaneous threads of thought than average. This heightened engagement is precisely what makes the whiteboard so vulnerable. The more richly you think, the more you are holding, and the less margin there is when something new arrives. What this means about you is this. You do not lose thoughts because your brain is weak. You lose thoughts because your brain is ambitious. It was trying to hold more than most people ever attempt. There is also a concept called transactive memory, studied by psychologist Daniel Wegner. It describes how deeply social, emotionally attuned people often outsource memory load to their environment because their inner world is already so full. You are not forgetting. You are overflowing. And overflow is only possible in a brain that was holding something extraordinary in the first place. So the next time a thought disappears mid-sentence, do not spiral. Do not perform the usual quiet shame. Just know what actually happened. Your brain was full because it was doing something ambitious. It was thinking in layers, feeling in layers, being present in layers. Most people never lose thoughts because most people never carry that many at once. You are not forgetful. You are overfull. And there is a profound difference. If this felt like you, if some part of you finally understood something about yourself, just now subscribe. Because your brain deserves to understand itself.